Good morning, America. This is 10 o'clock talks, waking up with me and you. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in. Whether you see me now or whether you see me later, just see me, share me, jump to YouTube, subscribe. I might need you to do that. It would really help in the future of the suppression, the big war of suppression, the art of manipulation of one's rights, the forced narratives. And yet, America, this is where we are. This is where we are. So, good morning. I hope you brought your coffee with you. I'm just going to do a quick check here, see where I'm at, see if anybody's coming in, and I'll know if I'm live 100%. Yeah, it looks like I am. Okay, that's cool. So, here we are. I am Michael Anthony. This is Waking Up with Mike and you, and I appreciate you coming in. Supreme Court's ruled warrantless home gun confiscation. They cannot confiscate. It's unconstitutional by a vote of 9-0. Yes, so the Supreme Court says, no, we're not going to allow this. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's promising. We have a lot of promising things going on right now. We really do. We have two presidents right now. Hey, what other country has that? We do right here in the United States of America. We have dueling presidents. Believe it, it's real. It's totally real. It's right in front of you. Yeah, so it's just a thought in my mind of what I see, where we are, and I think there's a lot of common sense in that. I really believe so. Rand Paul links Fauci directly. I think I talked about this a little bit, but I wanted to bring it back up because it's a very important narrative on our side. To the right, to the red hats, to all that believe and all is natural and safe. Truth of the matter is, it's just that though. But Rand Paul punished him up there sitting. And a few other occurrences have happened, which we'll talk about just momentarily here, in a minute. Yeah, push it, push the narrative, and more will come. And that's what we want to see the right to do. Grow these backbones, get the spine in order, go at these people. That's where I'm at in America. I know you are. I see your posts. I'm reflecting to what I'm seeing from you. That's why sometimes I do what I do as far as reliving, rehashing, giving you a little brief of what yesterday was about into today. But, if you guys are posting it, it's important to me because I follow your leads on much of what is out there, much of what is given, because it's a matter of respect, getting your word, your voice through. So through my vocal cords, this is your voice, and this is why I do this. Want to let you know we are on in the mornings now with a summer schedule. Work comes first, and we know that. Not enough people in America are working. I've never stopped. I've worked completely, entirely through this whole ordeal. I continue to keep going forward, sharing my life with you this way, giving you support and whatever else I can do. But I'm on a summer schedule, so I'm sorry. We're on in the mornings now with waking up. But it's a good thing. I'll still be around Friday, Saturday nights, doing commentary, talking, hopefully growing the live sector of you guys coming in, talking to each other while I'm going on, me picking and choosing some topics and giving better focal points Monday through Thursday on where we are and what the narratives are. And so much happens overnight. You could just keep going. Information is loosely being leaked in many ways, and that's why I'm telling you. We have dual presidency right now. We have two presidents. We do. It's unprecedented, but we have two presidents. Fact is fact. That's what's going on. That's what the whole issue is being torn about. That's what the whole issue is being torn about. People will not accept the untruth of what had occurred November 3rd. And they see their president as still the acting president. And great things too. Marjorie and some of her forces now are going to Arizona. Backup support is on the way, and they're going to have more eyes watching everything that is going on in Maricopa County, and that is a good thing too. So, good things and little steps and little steps. We want big ones. I know. I know we're all like, disgusted. I know I am. I'm disgusted with what I see. I wish I could just give you the total cure. I'd say not enough people talk about the cure, but I just did. The cure is when your leadership gets involved, and they're starting to get heavily involved with a different narrative, not so much fear, being vocal, supporting the people. Right now, they're doing that. Why? Elections? Sure. Sure, elections have to do with things. Of course they will. There's big things going on. And that's why the narrative from the other side, it's elections. Take off your mask. You'll vote for us. See them tidbits? Yeah, well, that's how that works. That's how that works. Don't fall into their side. Fall into your own beliefs. Follow your judgments because you are your own inside person of reason who can make you get through this. It will be your inner strength. I should have said better. Your inner strength will get you and prevail for you. They really will. Just stay strong in them. Stay strong in them. So I was on earlier this morning just for a moment with Dave Glovin, the Gospel of Glovin, and I think now a new name, Boogie with the Bulls or Bulls with the Boogies. I didn't really get a chance to finish. Dave is such a talkative person. I think I maybe have gotten out a 2-minute comment to a 10 question response of theory and good points, but I just want to relate. I wish I'd had more time to finish statements, and I didn't. But I do wish Dave the best. I hope his show does good for him. Like and support Dave. He's trying his best out there. He's got a lot to say. He's anxious. I get that. And that tells you why we are where we are. Everybody's responses and everybody's defenses in this fight are just different. However, I really wish I could have got a little bit more out with such a kind, open format that he, invited me in on this morning. But I do wish him luck. So good luck to you out there, DG. Yeah, Don Lemon. I know that came up. To me, I feel like there's a bigger picture to what we're seeing on him stepping down and the height of his career and whatnot. What that's going to mean, what it's going to say, I don't know. Maybe he's going to run for some public office. Who knows? But yeah, goodbye. Toodaloo. So long. Not going to miss you. Not going to miss you. Whatever happens, we'll address that when it happens, if it happens. So more states and many more parents in states now standing up, of course, and they should, for this critical race theory that is going on in the narrative in the schools. Parents are now pushing to out the school board members, and they should kick them out. I mean, without a doubt. We don't want our children learning about this narrative, this belief of which is to me, it's just to me. I disbelieve in it. Period. It's nothing good. It's nothing ethical. But again, it's what's on the other side and what they're basing their ideologies on. We don't agree with them, and I am for the parents, and I am even stronger for the children. But I do hope with the parents' protections that they stay strong in this, and every state joins in it and fights back. The importance of fighting back is our strength. That is our strength. And I want to just stress that to everybody. And that's what I found, what I've seen. Wake up time. Let's talk about weather. Not that it has anything to do with this. We might hit 80 in Pittsburgh. Ha! That'll be all right. I'm going to go on a roof right after this. I'm going to, do some roofing for a few hours. Get a project done I wanted to get done. Got it all set up yesterday, and I'm ready to attack, just like expose. But, every day a step, even in life versus the scenario we're in, if you make these steps in the fight or just to achieve. You're a self-achiever by doing. You step up, you do it. That's all I'm trying to do. I need to get some things knocked out. As the same as I try to knock out some things on this side every day. That's why I'm so appreciative of all the help. And, you guys allow me to come on and talk about all these things. I also want to bring up another fact here. So this really irritated me. And it does irritate me. So Barry Obama and his boy toy marriage person, and I don't know what this it is what it is. We all have questions at that there, right? But she comments how her children live in fear due to the color of their skin. Well, Miss Obama, the color of your skin. They were in an office of control where the people above them who do control the big narrative of the presidency, at least under their regime, they could have, I'm sure, without question, made some changes. So blame yourself, not America now. If you felt we were in such a disheartening place, why didn't you do anything about it? Why are you coming forth bitching to us now and saying your kids aren't safe? Well, I'll tell you why. It's karma. It's kicking you in your own ass. It's because people find out the truth of what you are, what you and him are, what you, him, and Biden and the rest of the administration were, and the Congress. Your coup. Your coup. Your global network of assholes that we have in this world that are trying to do and demean our life as they are now. And you're attack and push back. And that's what you are. Blatantly said. That's what you all are. So if you want to know the issue of problem here, it was you. You didn't work hard enough. You didn't do enough. You want to make money on books. You want to make money on investments. You weren't in there for the people. Not by any means. If you were in there for the people, we wouldn't be running into this. This would not be happening right now if you were true to America. Both of you, all three of you, and more. That is how it is. So if your children are scared, I'm all for the children. They should not suffer. But remember who placed them in that position. It was your own doing. Lack of better words, maybe. But, I mean, really. You think the bitch could have did a better job. She changed the diet to where kids wouldn't even eat the food in the school. I don't know if you remember that. That was already part of the food thing. If you think about this, that was the narrative. Get the kids used to this. This is what they're going to be eating the rest of their life. This is all about climate. This is all about food. This is all. You want the facts? They were putting them in place for you right in front of you then. I've explained this to you, and I've given many examples. Here's just another one of what it was. And when Trump came in, of course, the dietary systems did change. They still tried to keep kids healthy. They recognized all the importance of health, but they didn't starve kids, putting them on your so-called special diet. Again, your failure. And I can name 100 more. Really, I don't have the time for it, but we'll get to everyone as we can as the days go by. You can only blame yourselves and the actions that you choose in this great nation. You made this nation what it was under your regimes. You can't blame the people for what you two men did in this country. Enjoy your life. Your day is coming. Okay? That's my final word on that. Now, Biden diverts healthcare cash and the set-aside trust for you, the American people. But he's going to dip his hands in it. He dips his hands in it, not to help the illegals even more. What is going on in this world, really? Where are we? What is going on in this world? This is just unbelievable. So, with that said, it is what it is. He's going to do these things we expected, and we'll counteract in some way. That's what we do. I'm sure someone in Congress is going to step up, try to say something about it, and they should. They damn well better, because, we cannot keep creating false money. There is no money. There's no money. Whatever they print, it's counterfeit. It's not even real. It's theory of numbers. That's all it is. It's like saying, hey, okay, we're going to tell the world we have all this currency. They don't have no currency backed. They have nothing backed. It's all false narrative. We're in the worst shape you could ever be in America. That's the truth. We're in the worst shape you could ever be. And I pray to God at any given moment that, we stay safe in this, and our 401ks do, and our savings and our checking accounts and everything else, because they're out for what you have. Their plan is to take from you what you have, what you created, included all your wealth, because you won't need to have it in the future. wealth will be nothing. I don't know. It seemed to matter at one point. I still think it does. I think it's an initiative. I think it creates good structure in life. Money may be the root of all evil in ways, but it's also a teacher in life, you know? It teaches you how to be a go getter, to work, to have good ethic, to provide, what it means to be a mother, a father, a grandfather, a grandparent, leave legacies, you know? What's wrong with that? What's so wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with it. But again, that's the narrative of a lot of things. And I'm not going to stay on that real hard. I've said it before in ways, but it is what it is. So, yeah, he's going to divert this healthcare money, set aside trust monies to help the American rescue. No more. No more. Once you start to take, just like Social Security. I mean, we're still trying to figure out where $2.2 trillion went from all that money. Well, we know it was within president's uses and grasp and use. Where's that money? No wonder why Social Security is going to fail as they project in every so many years. Please, please, please. Thieves of the hands. These are the hands. You know, fill the bags, do what you can. That's what they do. We know who they are. We know, and we're coming for you. We're coming for you. Believe it. House Republican to introduce a bill to fire Fauci. Well, of course. Why you waited? Why did you wait? I don't even know why President Trump waited. We knew his connections to Wuhan and everything else. We knew where the development between the doctors and Fauci was in the Carolinas down there in the labs. And you know about, his wife. I mean, she's part of a human experimental thing in the NHI and whatnot. I mean, come on, put two and two together. More's coming out. And thank you also for your great post, Miss Liberty. That was fantastic. I did talk about this before, but expose. Doesn't it all make a little bit more sense? Doesn't it all, when you start thinking about what his wife's doing, where his ideas come from, what he supports, how they festered money all the way through these chains of events to keep their hands clean, which there's a money trail. Follow the money, it'll expose. Right back to Wuhan to keep everything going, where they could create this narrative that we now have to accept and wear masks to. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're going to do that. I didn't. Don't go outside your house or for a walk without a mask. I mean, please, come on. Like, I'm going to live your life because you said that? No, it's not even going to work. And why would I believe it anyway? And I'm glad I didn't with everything the CDC releases. Why should I? Why should I? Why should you? Why should you? It's your right to say no to a lot of things. The narrative isn't. Their narrative says you can't. We make the rules as we go. Well, you know how many fingers you can hold up at once, right? Give them the one that's most important. That's how you fight back. You let them know where you stand. Let them know they're not going to push you around any longer. So this is fantastic news. And this just kicks some dirt right in their face. From the dry dirts of the oil fields of Texas right back into Washington's face. 2 months they've been open, mask-free. Some by choice could still wear them, of course. That's everyone's right. That's the freedom of America. That thought. If one feels they need to wear it, they should. And I respect that. I'm behind them 100%. But not one death. Not one death. Not one. So what does that tell us? More lies. It really does. The narrative that they created, the mistrust that they created in the United States of America, the plan, in my mind, to activate innocent deaths upon people and our elderly and everything they did will be exposed. And it's coming soon. And it's not coming soon to a drive-in near you because Lord knows they might be only open to 50% capacity and they can't get their point across. But whatever. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, how some of these states, and there's only a handful that stand out really strong, really fighting this whole narrative against them in every way, shape, and form. Nothing goes past them. Nothing. Okay, so DHS issues a warning of domestic terrorist attacks nationwide and more. Setups. Yeah, foreign and domestic attacks. They can't even prove to me, can't even prove it. Can't even prove it. The pipeline was a cyber attack. And I'm going to stick to my guns on that one and say they did it. When you have filling stations that are self-owned by the oil companies and they're allowed to pump fuel, and then you have single proprietorship franchises who weren't allowed to pump gas and so forth, trucks only allowed up to 60 gallons, 50 gallons in other states. Yeah, that's going to really get the deliveries out there. No, it's going to suppress the economy. It's going to suppress you. It's going to create more fear. We need to push. Well, then they want to cut down pipeline 5. They want to start starving that pipeline. Not by Joe's hand, but the narrative now we're putting into the hands of the governors to start doing this work because there's too much heat coming back to Washington. Rah, 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 Washington, right, sure. So that's where we're really at. But I get it. I get it. Change the narrative, change the position, and let the governors do it. Well, there's no get out of jail free card for these people. Their day's coming as well. And in many states from what they did. And we know that. Really, you just have to believe. You have to believe this in your soul. I'm telling you, there's a better day, but there's much worse. But there is a better day. Everything takes a minute. Everything takes time. It is so big in place, so long, it can't be changed in a click. It ain't going to happen. I couldn't even do that. Did you know? Didn't even make a sound. It must be the weakness in an old man. But no, it's the truth. It's the truth. So, you need to keep, your faith. Keep it strong. So the Dems and the Republicans, though, are joining forces to correct some border crises now, too. So what does that tell you there when you got people jumping side? Doesn't matter who you voted for. Dems versus Dems. I did not vote for this. There are some people up who are just shaking their freaking heads. And I know I got it from good dignitaries. I personally did because I know a couple. I'm sorry, I do. This is really true. They're not down with this shit. They're just not down with it. They are more for the people. They have a Democratic outlook. They had other meanings. They wanted to support their side. But boy, what they're not. But they're in fear. They're just not going to jump sides. But and they're told to keep their mouth shut. But they are joining forces in some ways. So yeah. Let's see what they can do to help the crisis problem at the border because it hasn't really let up. It is letting up some. There is policing and much more policing taking effect and making some changes down there. How much good it has done, I don't know. It seems like we kind of like drifted away from that a little bit. I wish we had a little better intel. I know the Patriots at large do the best they can down there. They go to everything they can. Terry and the gang down there and his wife do all the push they can to give us good, confident information. So they're in a bigger fight for themselves too, going to meetings and everything else. They can't be at the border day and night, 24/7. The issues that we have in America are just too large, and everything needs addressed. And you need to show up, as patriots, to everything you can show up for. I know it takes away from your life and sometimes takes away from your family, but these are the grassroots and they are just, proud Americans to do this. And I know we have many more that are doing a lot of good in ways also. But let's just see what happens more to the crisis situation now that we're getting some from the left side joining in to fight this battle with us. I want to say a little bit about stocks because of where we are. And it's come to me through good people, and I always try to follow a little bit. I told people about dollar stocks and different things over the past, and they all did incredibly well, because the big conglomerates did incredibly well. Better than they ever had in the past 2 years was during this whole crisis. Set up, imagine that, huh? Set up. But anyway, if you invested in the smalls, the little guys, the real little guys, they were the ones that all prevailed. So I want to tell you about something that may be safe to you because gold can fall. Gold is at an astronomical high. Yeah, can it go higher? Can you make money on it? That is a very hard risk. What you want to do if you do anything is you want to do is get back to mining. If you can get mining stocks and some of the larger silver mines and so forth like that, that's where a safe net would be. If you can spend $1,000, $1,500 and buy the cheapest, doesn't matter what country they're from, the cheapest silver coins. And that's how it was put to me to explain to you. Buy the cheapest silver coin. They don't have to be collectible coins where they're going to cost you $1,000 a coin. Okay? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about in the precious mineral itself, and it's out there in many coins that sell very, very cheap. If you can get your hands on that kind of stuff, the banking silver coins, that's what you want to go after, which could be other countries who made little things up or put Trump's face on this silver thing and they're very cheap or whatever. Those are the things you want to isolate, throw into a corner, throw a blanket over them, let them sit there. And so if you want to do any of that, I would give a suggestion to you. Anybody who wants to flip some money in the next year to year and a half that way, and have a sense of a different type of security, if you're a prepper that way, look into the mining stock and the cheapest silver coins you can find. And if you do it now, you'll be getting in on the ground floor, which is a positive. Stay to the positive on the ground floor. And you will help it rise by doing it. And if others help it rise by buying more, then you help the rise even better. Just look for the cheapest and best way, and there are good companies out there that can give you directions. However, I will not mention any of them on this program format because I like to do my own homework. But I mean, if you would get me off air, I would definitely say, look into this, that, and the other. So anyway, I hope you all did well and still have some of your stimulus money and you bought guns and now you're donating it to President Trump, for the future plans of America, because that's how you fight back. That's how you fight back. Behind closed doors, Biden is making enemies in his own cabinet. And that's why I told you about the little dem thing right there. But it's true. And they said he is a moron to deal with. Those were the words pretty much used. They're speechless when they walk out of the room from a meeting with this guy. Of course, the orange Paskey's not going to talk much on that part, but we already know that she can't take much more. She's already going to leave, right? That's coming. She already has that plan. Her narrative is get out of town, get out of Dodge. So anyway, yeah, I mean, how many times can you go out there and whatever you say, be told you're saying it wrong, right? But, hey, if you can't push it right, don't push the narrative of all. And I guess that's where it's going. So best of luck. Also, I want to say this one last time. I know I have some truckers out there, cowboys. You know who I'm talking about, man. I talked to you last night on the phone while I was out exercising. Yeah, I did that too. I went out last night. I got some time into myself, cleared my head, walked away from all this bullshit that we're dealing with because you have to, and you need to too. It's why when I see my friend April on here, great lady, she goes fishing, goes boating, tries to tan a little bit. That's living life. You can come back to this battle. It's always going to be here right now. It's just not going to go away. It ain't going to happen. No. There's going to be a long term to this thing. And there's going to come a Y in the road. There's going to be a big fork. And when we get to that fork, there's going to be a major, major explosion. Will it be World War III? I don't know. Something big is going to happen. But we're going to win. Whether it's by the skin of our teeth, we will win this. I guarantee you, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We're growing in strength and numbers, and the ability to take the United States back and bring it back to us, just off what we're doing, just in the fight, the general fight, not about the overabundance, because it seems in ways the white hats are with the black hats and want to see this catastrophic event happen, and that's true on my own belief. I really feel that they're pushing for something so much larger. And that's why I told you, never take UFOs out of the picture here. I don't know what their plan is, truthfully, but I do know that too many leaks about that 3-letter informational word is being dripped on a daily basis of confirmation that it is real. And I'll just leave it at that, okay? I'll just leave it at that. I'm just saying I don't know what that whole big scenario is. But could it be some type of disclosure of our own things appearing, hovering, and the possibility of people's jaws just dropping off their faces? Because they're not going to want to believe it. But seeing will be believing, and believe it, they do have them. They do have them. Will they play a part to finally saying, they're not ours? Will they use that against it even though they are? Or maybe they're not. Or maybe some of them are theirs and some of them are ours. I mean, we got to this point somehow. That's all I'll say to that. I'd like to do more on it. I mean, I find things fascinating. I find history fascinating. I find the beliefs of stuff, incredible informations that we get fed by deathbed confessions, people that were in the programs, worked the programs and technologies and reverse engineering. We know that it's all true. We know the locations of it. We know about George Bigelow. We know about much bigger deep state projects than they will ever be willing to admit to you. But the fact remains, at some point, much of everything you want to know will become freedom. And the Freedom of Information Act is what kept us knowledgeable through a lot of this. We foresaw where we are now because of what we were doing back then. Because the history was out there, it was already done. We were following the footprints of it. The footprints are being done. That's why sometimes I think that's my knowledge and where my knowledge and a lot of it came from. And that is the truth of the narrative because we were seeing things, but you have to put them together. So, yeah, I'm going to just say my best to the truckers, Cowboys, Alabama. You know who you guys are, hoeing all those trees and doing what you can, but can you do anything about the prices of lumber right now? I mean, that's another issue, huh? Wow, wow. I think I did a little segment. I said a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom house was going to have a $36,000 increase, revenue increase, not counting the labor accounting to that money. Now it's more like 61,000 in additional lumber cost. Although people are saying plywood's over $100, it's not. I was just at the store again the other day, and I just happened to see it, and I go to look just to get facts, and it was only like $50 a sheet for 5/8, okay, which is totally usable in any home project. Still expensive, still is truly. That's a fact. But and did it go up? Yes, it went up, but it didn't do what we're being fed. That's a narrative that's not real. I could have took a picture and posted it right in front of it, but the truth is what I just gave you. Okay. Anybody know what DARPA is? DARPA is like it's a deep state. Deep state. There's that other phrase again from conspiracy theorists. Part of the Zuckerberg Foundation. Partnerships of the Zuckerberg Foundation help keep Zuckerberg at the front of the foundation, as well as China's input, cash, big pharma, cash, pushing the narrative of suppression and more on the health industry and everything that we're seeing now with the VAX and so forth, the hit, the punch, the Frankensteiner, all these miracle cure things I discuss with you. And I change them often because when I start hearing people use my own phrases in other broadcasts, I know they're listening. So I try to make them work for their money a little bit since they advertise and I don't. The only thing I do, I'll say this right now. If you haven't been to Bicycle Haven in Northside, get your butt over there. Biggest bicycle museum in the world. One of the. Really great guy. Craig Morrow. Started with one bike. And he has, man, this place is humongous. Beyond words. It's a great treat. If you're in Pittsburgh, check it out. Say hello to Craig. Tell him Mike sent you. He's never a charge to walk in and check anything out. And if you're in Pittsburgh, it'll make for a great afternoon for you. Not everything about Pittsburgh is crazy bad. We have good people here. We have terrible leadership. That is the issue in Pittsburgh and has always been for the past 20 years, just as we have experienced in Washington, which fits. Makes it all plug together. It really does make it all plug together. So where are we here? People coming in and out. Okay, I get that. I wasn't entertaining enough for some. That's fine. That's fine. I'll appreciate who does come, who does look, and do what you can to help out. If you can go to YouTube if you haven't already and you are seeing this for the first time. I am Michael Anthony. I bring you 10 o'clock talks in the evenings. Now we're doing super shows on Friday and Saturdays. And Waking Up America, it's a work schedule thing. Everybody in America should be working. Should be. So anyway, ZARPA and Zuckerberg and all these other things, it's much deeper than that. The true fight is banking, agreements, families, laws, countries, nations, global schemes and operations, manipulations to currencies, downing banks' numbers and the cash currency values, and it will split. There will be a split. There will be a certain stop. Now, I know you guys heard of all these bigwig, the 1%. You know who all these people are, and what they did. Well, what they did is they keep people inside banks that help them manipulate the currency values. And that's when they jump through the door. That's how they really go after a lot of their money. They jump through the door, they follow all the systems in the world, and that's where they jump into the banking stocks, and that's where their wealth comes from. Because not because they're smart, but because they control it. And once they get into their controlled measure of it, and that's why we are where we are and where we're going. This is the whole key element of what you're seeing. It plays the largest role of it all. They down it. They make it look terrible. People start selling rapidly. I got to get the hell out of here because you figure facts. It's coming across in the media. Which again, their money's in there. They get in low, and then they come back, and the next day, guess what? Shoots through the roof. All a lie. And it's always been done that way, through a lie. So there you have the point and problem of how these people make their money. And that's why the new reset of what's to come is going to really blockade all this negativity, as I explained. So keep faith there. Keep faith. We know what they do. We know how they do it. They just have to be picked out. All the bad names need to be picked out, blocked, suppressed from the new banking system when it does occur under the QFS. And it is already occurring. And there's going to be things and false narratives out there like schemes, pyramid schemes, and even in the banks. Even in the banks, you'll see them. You'll hear about them. Good investments, good ways to move forward right now. Well, guess what? Don't jump on it. Don't even jump on the pyramid, the Ponzi shit. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't believe the narrative of it. Because that is a way for them to take money back out. Okay? So don't support them being able to take money back out from the currency as we know now, with this false Federal Reserve system that they basically control by just families of money. Not by anything founded, put in place, a corporation by any means. It's just not that. All it is a title of families. So when you have that going on, you need to know this information and how parts of this narrative fit together with it. And it is a true fact beyond doubt. It just is. It's realization. And I tried to talk about this in many ways, and I think that's a little bit more specific to what it is. But, what you must fear is what we're going through right now and the suppressions and the narrative of how they are really, they're just blasting people so hard in their mind. People are just getting fed up with it and disgusted and don't want no more to do with it, and they're being careless about how their strength should be. And I think that people need to be more attentive to how strong they can be and stay in the fight in a strong way. And that's how you create victory. It will be with numbers. It'll be with strength. It'll be with positivity. And it'll be with knowledge, damn it, knowledge. What I just shared with you in many ways is knowledge. And keep that standing strong, as strong as you can. Be careful in strength. And remember, we will have an all ahead full at some point. Better reset of where we will be as far as the cash value of $1 and so forth, and what we have to back that, because there's no backing being offered. They just pull. They extort your money when they make you fall into it, just like the CDs. You remember the CDs? Get a CD. We pay up to 2 points over your whatever savings passport. Used to be like 5-6% interest. Now what is it, like 1/4%, if that? You make no money off them making money in the bank account. You get nothing. So then they put these long-term investment CDs and bonds and so forth. They are very, very shrewd. They know what they're doing. All right, so if you have any people in Arizona, as I said, this is just want to highlight this back for a moment. Marjorie's going down there to give a lot of backing and support. So we're going to have some people from the right there, and they're going to be showing their faces and their strength as our leadership out of Washington to make sure. Because you were right, and I owe an apology here. This is really weird, though. I got really good information, double back checked it and everything else, and I really did. The guy that said who he was, the interview was by who he was. I know that those facts are true, key components. And there was a no disclosure. How the hell did the deletions get disclosed? I don't get that. When you're under a disclosure, Then there's a leak that says, hey, all this information was deleted out of the systems. Well, yeah, I was aware of it too. I couldn't actually say to anybody, this is true fact. Not when you're hearing right out of the guy's mouth in charge of the whole damn scenario there that it's a no disclosure. You can't talk to anybody about what your findings are. They only can be talked about in the courtroom with the judge that oversees all this. But yet, somehow, unless there was something taken to the judge and there was an approval, that part never came out. I never saw it if it did. And my apologies to you, but the deletion part seems to be factual. And it occurred up to 10 days prior to them even being told under the court's orders they are not to touch the machines. They are to save all the integrity and information in the machines. They did not. They deleted it. How much did they delete in these machines before turning them back? We don't know. But this is going to turn, as I talked into yesterday, into a big can of worms. And that is just like, hey, they just admitted guilt under every act of law there is in the United States of laws, okay? And that's all I'll say on that. So you have my apologies. I wish I had a little bit better information on it, but I always tell you, you have the right to choose and pick whatever I talk about and at face value for what you believe. You're the final decision maker here when you come into this group, into this room, and you decide what you need to. Okay. Biden's made some comments and words that I don't really appreciate. And I don't think you should either, because I think there was more behind his comment. The words to me were of threat. And it was basically, if you don't get the vaccine, we're not going to protect you. We're only going to protect the people who did receive it. Protect. And how he used the word, I think, was more the case scenario. But what we do know about protection of the people of the vax and the true numbers that I can only give you as of this morning, and there are still lies out there everywhere, but what seems to be reality is at least 2/3 of the country, even reported in media, mind you, never got this. Now, that's not all true, but it's very close, because you have some people that went for the first part of the miracle cure, never went back for the second part. So it jumps then to 60%. And no, I don't believe that by any means. We're not at 60% by any means. We're like maybe 35% of the United States. And yeah, could there be 15% on top of that got the first? Yes, that's what makes most credible sense to me off all the findings that I have. So stand up strong with that. I think we're really good there, and I'm not going to make any apologies on that because I think that is so accurate, it's pathetic. But remember, the narrative is much bigger, and their claims are always going to be much, much more wrong to you than what the factual information will show. Because it's not about giving you truth. It never was, and it won't be. So we probably are somewhere on 48.8%. With the 35% and the 15%, we're right about 48.8%, and that's a true narrative of number of where we are on received but not completion of received. Okay, so you know what that second part is, so I don't get cut, but I do have to say it that way. So, and not until we reach 70% will we be in any kind of a clear, area to say, okay, we beat this. Nah, we already did beat it. We know that, Joe. We already know we beat you as well, Joe. We just know we did, and that's how it works. So you get misinformation and facts from the State Department and everything else. And here's one for you on that, but I'm going to get back to that part on Joe. I got something else I want to bring into that. The misinformation now, I don't know. Is it misinformation? But it's if this is true, somebody is now exploiting and exposing Hillary Clinton, the Obama administration, certain people of the Obama administration, and the pre-planned attack in Benghazi. So they knew about it. And if the paperwork that's come down, when we all get to read it, or it gets uploaded to Twitter or wherever, we'll have more factual, information on that. Hamas and Israel. Israel told these people, we don't want to hurt anybody, not one life. We intend to do this, this, and this. They lay it all out. And yet people are yelling everywhere. AOC and the stupid squad up there in Washington, Omar, taking the other side. Israel's bad. Of course they're bad. It's because Trump did what he did. What was it, December 7th, 2017, I believe? He goes there and he, makes a proclamation? Making this the capital of and noticing it and recognizing it. We must have a hell of a lot of power in Israel, right? Think about this. That we can go there and make these changes out in the dry sand lands and stuff. And yeah, isn't that pretty impressive how Trump can do that and could do that with people? And yet Biden, he gets himself involved, voices his mouth in the wrong way as usual, and they basically tell him to go pound salt. And I can't blame him for that, because there's a diplomatic way to do it and there's an idiot way to do it. And he always seems to take the idiot way out. But, we can't blame Israel for anything they're not trying to do but to protect themselves of everything that I find. I don't know what you guys find. You're always welcome to send me more. And I know on May 5th, a lot of people might not even know about this, but it's true. May 5th, there was a big weapons sale to people of the country over there. I'm not going to say a whole bunch more on that. More's going to come out on that. So millions of dollars in weaponry. Yeah. Imagine that. And now we are where we are down there. And only the Palestinians are the good people. Nobody else. And Hamas. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Hare Krishna. And la la la. I mean, really, that's what that all is, right? Anyway, if you're just joining in, I won't be here forever, but I want to let you know I am Michael Anthony. If you're joining in off of YouTube, Facebook, or one of the other things, thank you for coming in. This is part of 10 O'Clock Talks, Waking Up with Michael and you. So here I am. Warnings hit the airwaves, though, of threats for this summer. Another big thing. Threats of this summer. We've already had threats. What do we have, like $2.2 billion in damages throughout the United States from these peaceful protests? 30 people only dead. But we only recognize one or two when the narrative has to be a finger point objective of racism. Yeah, so we're still in that scenario. And so these dipsticks are all coming out with this narrative on what's going to happen. And things probably will, because that's the narrative that they want to keep pushing. They don't want to let you live comfortably. They want to leave turmoil all around you, and it's not going to stop. Believe me, I wish I could tell you it was going to stop. It's not going to stop. They're going to fight back and do things just to aggravate you, to keep you aggravated, because that way they can keep a different narrative of where they're going or trying to go in. All you can do is put it aside. But, the only people I take is a threat to the United States, our own government, BLM, without a doubt, and Antifa. These are the true issue. The mask is only an importance right now to these people, because that will allow their protesters and their destruction crews to come out and interface and hide within the public population. So by taking and having to take the masks off, their faces are exposed and they can't hide. So they were getting away with murder back then. 30 of them. Yeah, 30. All right. $2.2 billion in total insurance reported damages. And that's okay. That's okay. And this is why they don't want you to have to unmask. But they're going to give a little leniency, because the ones that aren't protected by the HIT, the jab, the miracle cure, the Frankensteiner, and more, you know what I'm talking about. You must wear a mask. Not. But you must, because they need, in a way, to filtrate behind people to hide by hiding their own face for what they do. And I think that's the biggest disappointment of this mask charade. Okay? I really believe that. I'll let you think about that part, but that's where I see it. So we got these false protesters. They're not true protesters. They're an embarrassment to their own families and everyone else in the United States. And as far as I'm concerned, they should toss these people out, every one of them that were involved in this, that they can find out where the investigation should really be and the pressure should be and on people, because we know there's cameras everywhere with videos. They could be doing something. They're not on the level that they should be doing something. But again, that falls under those 3-letter organizations that we know are just dirt. And that's what they are. They're dirty. It's dirty politics. It's dirty law. It's dirty law enforcement. It's law enforcement agencies. And that's where we're at. So with that, I mean, the only thing I can say, if you can't hide in the crowd, you're identifiable with, there's no doubt about that. So will they actually do things this upcoming? I'm sure. But they'll probably do it in a different way. I'm sure they'll keep their masks on. They'll run. They'll try to hide. They'll try to get away. And all we can do is keep funding the police the best we can to give them confidence that they know the American people does support them. And they will do everything they can to stop it and convict these people, because that is what needs to be done. So what made the CDC come out with no mask? Really? Could it be? I don't know. And maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't. It's politics, it's narratives. And again, the left doesn't agree with now the science. Oh, how could the CDC do this? But they did. They did it. They said it. And now their own left doesn't agree with the science. Mass confusion, isn't it? Mass confusion here. That's what we have. That's what they have. I guess they didn't see that coming, because they didn't like it when it came. They didn't like it. Incentives to go back to work. All right, I want to get back to Fauci just for a minute. The NHI and the CDC were the people that had a lot to do with this particular statement. And there didn't seem to be a narrative there. It seemed to be a stutter from these people, okay? And the stutter was this. And let's not forget these facts. Let's not forget them. How the best way for me to put this to you would be, they were asked questions. The questions were asked in many ways, in different twists. Certain video clips were released you may have seen. I think I even posted one. That's why I bring it up. I talk about it. I'm asked questions. They themselves can't even confirm how many of their own employees in the NHI and the CDC have received this thing. They believe up to maybe possibly 50% only. But they have to follow government protocol. So they can't enforce it. They can't enforce it. This just sucks, doesn't it? They can enforce it, but yet now they're still pushing narratives on big corporate people like Delta, who came out and said, you got to get a shot if you want your job. I see lawsuits. I see many lawsuits, and I think people need to start calling attorneys and asking questions and finding out. And there's so much help out there. I've described it to you, who you can go to. I've given information on it. Ding, not right there right now. I'd share it. But you got to stand up for yourself. If you're subjected to pressure and push this way of a narrative that we know does exist, you better go get some legal help and start filing a litigation, because there's going to be mass class action suits against all these organizations. And that will be the great fall of America. That is how we restore it. We collapse it. You bankrupt it. You fold them. They have to reorganize, run, come up with a new name, and all of a sudden start acting like well-behaved children. Get it? It's true, though. It's true, though. It's true. I want to say hi to Beth and anybody else that came in. I really can't see a target of who came on. I'm trying to stay focused here. I want to talk about manufactured media and manipulated medias, and unfortunate, the lies of the media. This is something that Israel got attacked on because of the destruction that they needed to do to suppress and quiet the wrongful side. Could you imagine if we could just do that here? How much better the world would be in 24 hours. Yeah, we are living in a manufactured media. Everything about the media is manufactured. And these people are just paid for a face, not even pretty ones. Just a face. To mislead you, misrepresent the truth, create you in fear as well. They're as guilty as the government, and they partake in it more even heavier than our own government. They are the force of the world, and we need to start. And I know we got tens of thousands of people working all across the United States, first off. And in all these states of questions about November 3rd. These are highlighted areas of importance. But we also need to put more force on the media. You know, we need to suppress the media. We need to change how the media works. We need to stop manufactured media, because that's exactly what it is. It's all manufactured. Also, the Dems have some comments to AOC and opposing certain terrorist gang members and by deporting them. So, yeah, okay, so they're coming in across the border, and we're just such bad people for deporting them or wanting to deport them and separating from what good that may have came in. Even though all of this was a bad idea, it's here, it's delivered. The United States has to deal with it. We, as a republic, know that we have to do something about it and address it. But AOC is just appalled at everybody in the United States that we're not recognizing the fact that we should not be in any way harming or targeting gang members by deporting them back. Please. Como receives over $5 million for his second COVID book, or his first. I believed it's a 2-book contract, is what I should have said. I apologize there. I didn't think I was going to have to say apologies, but I said it. So anyway, you have that now. $5 million. A guy who should be charged on crimes on humanity? Are you kidding me? All right, so here, just a few of these names maybe that he'll come up with. Profits over deaths, Book of Lies, The Untold Truths. I mean, just a few. I could go on forever. I could sit here and just articulate names of what the book should be called. 5, are you kidding me? And then he's fighting with the mayor. The mayor wants to offer French fries for you to go get the vax. And we don't even know if he just got a vitamin B shot, like Fauci did. Okay? Come on, he's not going to stick a needle in his arm. He's too far deep into this. He knows exactly what's going on. Whatever you see on TV or seen on TV of them trying to do this, oh, watch me get it, like Joe, Big Joe. Yeah, right, maybe vitamin B. That's the most they got. I assure you that would be a fixed media plant, believe me, on what they got. If it was even Joe's arm. But whatever. But Como now, he's also announcing that the Great American Race will happen, which attracts up to 33,000 runners per year when it does occur. They missed last year. It is on. New York is opening back up, and I'm sure there's going to be vaccination stations throughout the whole city set up just waiting to get their hands on your arm. Well, you know, if they touch your arm, punch them in their face. That's all I can say. You have the right to protect yourself. So if push comes to shove, push hard. And that's where you should be. Last 24 hours, 16 states make mask mandate changes. And I'm thinking maybe it's for votes. What do you guys think? Let me know in the next segment with Michael, Waking Up with Michael. Hey, I'm happy you guys came through. I thank you for everything you do. Beth, do your thing, girl. You're a rock star. I want to say thanks, though, to everybody. I appreciate you guys for coming in, checking out the show. Who was in today? Randy, Jack Alexander, April. Not much, really. Maybe we should extend next week, go into like maybe 5 to 7 shares. Try to get some people that way. And then I'll reset my page. If you go into your sets and don't reset it, but if you do it, temporary deactivation of your Facebook, it reboots your whole system. It reboots all your friends. And that restores your friends. You may start seeing more posts. I know when I do it, I do see more posts. So maybe I'm at that point where I need to do it because this may not be actually being seen by everybody. But if you can, like, follow, share, subscribe, please start checking out the YouTube thing because I do foresee a day where I'll probably be not on this platform. Not that I don't want to be. They probably will just go against me and, you know, suppress me and say, Michael, you have too many bad things to share to the world. But when you share truth, it's bad. When you share good, it's wrong. So, you know, with that said, it is what it is. You guys are rock stars. You're the heroes. You're the heroes. Like Cheerios, I'm sorry. You're the heroes, man. Really, you are. You're the warriors of the 10. I appreciate you guys so much. Do what you can. Get the word out. Stay strong. Keep posting. I'll share whatever I can from you. Repost whatever I can. Make sure your word gets out there. I'll talk about it. I'll do everything that is important to you. My voice, through your thoughts, you will be heard. Don't judge me. I won't judge you. Thanks again. See you tomorrow. Waking up. You're rock stars, people.